How's it going, everybody? So Daniel 4 kicks off with in the 420th day of the first month. So the way I teach this is Jesus in the green. Of course, my screen, I've got it so darkened now. And then an angel in blue. And it really reads like that when you listen to him say it. But because after he's with Jesus and basically passes out, it says, and behold, a hand touched me. He does not refer to Jesus touching him like suddenly it's a brand new situation. And the way when you listen to it being read, it really sounds like that also. So let's get on with it.
And in the 24th day of the first month, as I was by the side of the great river, which is Hiddekel, then I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz. His body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire.
By the way, we've shown you this before in previous Daniel studies that Jesus is described in other areas with like three of these same descriptions. I think it's the eyes of fire, the girded with gold. Jesus, eyes of fire, girded in gold. So it says right there in Revelation 1, 12 through 16. So here you are getting it in Daniel. Straight up right there. Words like the voice of a multitude. Of course, Jesus speaks to the church through his spirit and so forth. So let's continue.
And his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision, for the men that were with me saw not the vision. But a great quaking fell upon them, so that they fled to hide themselves. Therefore I was left alone, and saw this great vision. And there remained no strength in me, for my comeliness was turned in me into corruption, and I retained no strength. Yet heard I the voice of his words, and when I heard the voice of his words, then was I in a deep sleep on my face, and my face toward the ground. And behold, an hand touched me, which set me upon my knees.
This is an angel waking him up. In my opinion, let God be true and every man a liar.
And upon the palms of my hands. And he said unto me, O Daniel, a man greatly beloved.
So he didn't quote Jesus at all. But now all of a sudden he's quoting. So he just described what Jesus looked like, not knowing it was Jesus, but he simply talked about a vision. And then after he passes out, he then goes right to a hand touched me. And again, an angel told him earlier that he was loved. That was in a previous study. I think it was just yesterday's. Not sure about that. Sundays or Saturdays. So he's being told again.
And the words that I speak unto thee, and stand upright, for unto thee am I now sent. And when he had spoken this word unto me, I stood trembling.
He stood trembling. All right, so that's the end of that study. I still haven't gotten any feedback if y'all like this being read to you instead of me reading it. It's easier on me, requires a little more setup, but it's just easier. So guess I'm getting lazy. Let's continue with the Luke study.
And he led them out as far as to Bethany.
Well, this ends Luke.
And he lifted up his hands and blessed them. And it came to pass, while he blessed them, he was parted from them and carried up into heaven. And they worshipped him and returned to Jerusalem with great joy, and were continually in the temple, praising and blessing God. Amen.
Amen. All right, so I'm glad you're here. That's the end of Luke. I love you very much. Ask questions anytime. That's what I'm here for.